Hello and welcome to this match review for Southampton versus Ipswich Town. Obviously our third loss in a row. It's looking a little bit bleak, but I'm going to go through the goals and some of the key points I think are important to loss. Now we're going to start off by just looking at the lineup. And obviously the back four was as expected. Bednarak not being fully fit. Stevens obviously injured. Holgate having a shocker against Sunderland. And obviously you have Walker Peters, Manning obviously going to start with Charles and Harwood Bell is, okay. And obviously Gavin Bazunu in goal. And then midfield of Aribo, Smallbone, Armstrong. And then a front three of Edozie, Adams, Fraser. So we're going to start off with the main issue, midfield. No. That's all I've got to say. No to that midfield three. What's going on here? Where's the defensive mid? Well, you have to have a defensive mid. Holy shit. Our defensive mids are bad enough. They don't track their runners. They don't man mark. And then you're just not going to fucking play one? What do you expect? What do you expect? So obviously Adam Armstrong, a striker playing fucking centre mid, which, I don't know, it was quite funny after. I think he played it against Plymouth. We won. And everyone was like, oh, fuck me. Adam Armstrong, fuck me. He's doing so well. And I'm just sitting there like, he's a striker. Why the fuck is he playing midfield? And then now, 4 or 5 games, oh, maybe not 4 or 5, 4 games later, 3 games later, where everyone's, Martin out, get him out, we're all shit, we're getting relegated to League One. I mean, it's crazy how quickly the opinions change of Southampton fans. It is quite actually impressive how fast the way they view the team is. It is unbelievable. Adam Armstrong, never a midfielder, should never play midfield ever again. Aribo chucked in the deep end. He hasn't really impressed me coming off the bench in any game he's played. But I don't think he was awful, but we'll look at some of the stuff further in the video about, instances. And he was at fault for one instance that we were lucky didn't make it 2-0. And Smallbone, I think, I don't know, there's something off about him. Maybe it's the midfield dynamic, the midfield balance isn't really playing to Smallbone's strengths, and I don't particularly dislike Smallbone as a player. I think passing-wise he normally is pretty sharp, but recently he's been very wayward. Maybe that's the poor sort of personnel with him. Obviously, against Sheffield Wednesday, first game of the season, we looked at the best. Like, that was the best we looked. And we all, well, I mean, probably not all know because everyone fucking thinks Ward-Prowse sucks, but Ward-Prowse was the reason for that. I mean, he is the midfield stability. He can rotate the ball fine. He's a good defensive player as well. Interceptions, does all that hard work. And we're missing him in midfield. That's pretty obvious, at least to me, at least to my opinion. And then the front three, Edozie playing on the right wing. No, he's a left winger every day of the week. Every day of the week he's a left winger. Fraser did not have an impact at all, really. And then Adams, it just didn't happen for him. It's difficult. It's difficult, but that's the team. I think in terms of what I would have preferred chucking any fucking, even if it's Holgate at centre-back, right? If we don't have the options, I don't want Shay Charles to play centre-back unless Downs is fit. If Downs isn't fit, Shay Charles has to play defensive mid. So I would have changed maybe Holgate or fucking someone, right? Someone can go centre-back who's actually a centre-back. Then midfield, Aribo wouldn't have played there and Adam Armstrong wouldn't have played there. I think the midfield would have had to been Charles, Smallbone, Alcaraz maybe, Stuart Armstrong maybe. And then front three, obviously I'm not going to start Sulemana. He's not fully fit, whatever. He missed a lot of preseason, so he's obviously not 100%. Otherwise, he probably would have started. Edozie left wing, Adams, probably Adams striker. Right wing, probably Fraser, but again, I'm surprised at where Amoameu is, to be honest. I mean, he was quite the X factor off the bench for the first 3 games. Doesn't play anymore, which is quite weird. He's on the bench but doesn't play. I mean, that's interesting, but that probably would have been my starting 11. So obviously not majorly different, but a bit different in terms of midfield dynamic because clearly the midfield is such an issue for us. All right, so we're going to look at the first goal. Now, so this is how it was set up. Obviously, I can't play any video because I'll probably get copyrighted, but I'll take some images from it. So when he receives the ball here, Shay Charles, Walker Peters is inverted, right? That's the, we want inverted fullbacks, right? Whatever. One midfielder. I mean, fucking hell. We have 3 Ipswich players here. One midfielder. He's out of the game. He's out of the game because he'll cover. Walker Peters is out of the fucking game. Smallman's out of the fucking game. No one who's right wing. Adozi. Why isn't Adozi down here? Why is Adozi not there? If the fullback's coming in, there needs to be a wide option. And I've played the video a bit further forward, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's not anywhere to be seen. The entire time Shea Charles drives and loses possession, he's nowhere to be seen. So that's an issue I see straight away, is that if the fullback's going to invert, be a midfielder, right? The fullback, the winger has to be an option. Has to be an option. I mean, that's like basics, right? In your brain, as a footballer, when I was growing up, high and wide. Every time was high and wide. So if I was a winger and my fullback's coming in, I've got to get wide and become an option. I mean, that's just logic, right? That's just absolutely logic. So this is the first issue. I mean, how do we have 3 midfielders, Adam Armstrong, Smallbone, and Aribo, and only fucking one is in this frame? Only one. Like, these 4 Ipswich attackers, 4 Southampton players. I mean, Manning's not even in the fucking game. That pass is never on. You're never playing that pass. You're never playing that pass. Burns is going to step in easy. This is just, it's like, we're stretching ourselves too thin for the benefit of attempting to stretch them. If you get what I mean, like if you're playing man for man, and your right winger's up fucking high and wide, the fullback's got to cover him, blah blah blah. Same with all the midfielders, right? So I understand that the concept of sort of stretching yourselves very wide and very high and all this sort of shit to sort of make the opponent create gaps because the opponents have to cover that space. But then if they want you to do it, then you're fucked. Like, they wanted you to play to Adozi there. They wanted you to try and play him because Adozi's not coming in. They wanted you to try and play Walker Peters here. He's marked. They want you to play Smallbone. He's marked. They wanted you to play Manning. He's marked. They wanted those passes. Where are the midfield options? If you have 3 players in that midfield zone, you have to outnumber them. Not be 2v3. Like, oh my God. We'll move to the next one now. It's just fucking, oh. All right, and this is when he's about to lose it, okay? Again, midfield. Where are they? Nowhere to be fucking... We've had the ball here. Shea Charles has driven into here. And not one of Aribo or Adam Armstrong, whose midfielders, thought, maybe I should drop in and help. No one in this entire zone. The obvious pass... Say Shea Charles has already run that way, right? He's already engaged. Drop in here. Walker Peters was in the space. He drops wide. Shea Charles drives in. Should have played to Walker Peters. But he decides to drive in. Maybe he expected Hutchinson to stay on Walker Peters. Maybe. Okay. So he drives in. Hutchinson then presses him. The only that pass ain't on. That pass ain't on. You're thinking you're going to make that pass with this guy running here, him here, and him here. And Smallbone's going to get out of that. Probably not, especially with no midfield options in here. There had to be the ball through here. To anyone, fucking anyone. Che Adams drop in. Fucking Adam Armstrong drop in. Aribo drop in. 2 of you are midfielders, and you're not even in the fucking midfield. You're in the fucking opposition half when the ball is here. The ball was there 2 seconds ago, and there's not one of you playing midfield. I mean, that's just amazing. But obviously, Shea Charles he's made the issue, right? I think the idea was maybe, if I'm thinking it this way, right, was to drive into the space. Walker Peters drifts away. Hutchison drifts away with him, and then that creates a 2v1 here with Charles and oh fuck me, I didn't know I could do that. Charles, okay, yeah, White, yeah, like this. I think that's what they wanted. So Shea Charles may play that small bone and then make a run into that space. But then Hutchison was like, why the fuck would I do that when I can just tackle you? And that fucks everything up because there isn't a third pass. There isn't even a second pass. Do you know the idea of triangles? The whole point of them is to have 3 points, right? So if he has the ball, he can pass that way. And if he has the ball there again, he can pass the other way. But in this option, there's only one pass. And if there's only one pass, how easy is that to predict for the opposition? Absolutely simple. There was no one here, and that was the issue. I don't know what Aribo and Adam Armstrong are doing, but obviously Shea Charles loses it there, and they go and score. But obviously it's a bit of an individual mistake from Shea Charles, but also it's a team issue with the midfield dynamic because, I mean, isn't it just logical? I mean, yes, Adam Armstrong's not a natural midfielder. Aribo, I don't even know what the fuck role he plays. Obviously, it's whatever, they're not natural, whatever the fuck. But even me, I'm not a natural midfielder. Even I would think, hold on, there's a lot of space there. Our ball's being played out. It's basically a 4v4 in that middle section. Probably should help them out. We're outnumbered. No, I'll just fucking stand up front or some shit. Oh, whatever. Now, obviously, I don't know if my scribbles are a bit too much, but all right. So this is the next thing, right? Bazunu rolls the ball out to Aribo, okay? And you're thinking here, it's not a bad option, actually, because look at the space that Aribo has here. Look at the space he has here, right? Obviously, passing back, not really an option. Walker Peters going to have rough time there. Shea Charles going to have rough time there. Smallbone's out of the game. So the only reason, now obviously I could criticize Bazunu maybe if he made this decision to roll it to Aribo, but didn't realize that he had no options, right? So in this position, you're thinking, okay, there's got to be an option here. There's got to be an option here. And do you know what that creates? Whoa, a triangle. Whoa, what a concept. The whole point of possession football is fucking triangles every second of every fucking pass. Has to be someone in this space. Maybe you could say, okay, Manning's the inverted fullback. He should slot in there. But again, it's a transition from defense to attack. Is he going to get there fast enough? Probably not. Adozie should be down here. Adam Armstrong, wherever the fuck he's roaming. Maybe there should be Adam Armstrong's spot. You know, Che Adams could slot in there if needed. There's a lot of options that should have been available to Aribo here. But instead, there's no one. Absolutely no one. This pass, not on. This pass, not on. This pass, not on. This pass, I mean, fuck me. Has he got a bird's eye view like Lionel Messi in his prime and he can just go, yeah, there's a guy over there. I'm just going to fucking kick it without looking? Probably not. Clearly no pass there. Otherwise he would have played it. That's my honest opinion. If Adozie's dropping into the space, he's going to pass it there. He is. There's no one in the space. No one in the space. What the fuck is he supposed to do? Right? There's three options that aren't really options at all, and two massive amounts of space that aren't being occupied by anyone. So obviously this is a little bit difficult situation. Rebo kind of gets stitched up here. But then if I open up the other one, that's the wrong one. Fuck. That's the right. No, it isn't. Fuck, I'm such a melt. That's not the right. This one's the right one. Okay, so now, for some reason, Aribo's gone, I've got a great idea, lads, to get us out of this. I'm going to turn into them. Like, what? What do you mean? And again, this is what? 2 seconds, a second after? No one here. No one here. Why is there no one there? Such obvious things. And again, he can't play there, can't play there, can't play there. There's no back pass available. And I understand why he thought maybe, oh, I should turn. Is anybody going to communicate to him that he's fucking surrounded? Just anyone going to say, hold on, Aribo, don't turn. No turn. No turn. Because holy shit, look at this. Look at this. Oh, I should have drawn that with the right one. Okay, we'll draw it with the right one. Yeah. Look at that. Aribo, 6 players before any Southampton players are in vicinity. That's not good enough. That is seriously not good enough. That basically means that every player in this image, not in the game. For us. Not in the game at all. Pass to Walker Peters, not on. Pass to Charles, not on. Pass to Smallbone, not on. Pass to Manning, not on. I mean, I doubt Aribo is going to be able to pick this pass out. He's just turned. He probably doesn't even know Manning's there. And this is the main issue. Where is our midfield? Where is our supporting players? Where's the winger? We love a bit of high and wide. Sure, get one-on-one with a fullback. But to be able to do one-on-ones with fullback, we actually have to get the ball here. So maybe you should, come get the ball. Just the concept. Holy, how is there no Southampton player in this block? How is there no Southampton player in this fucking block here. How? And remember the Shea Charles one. It's exactly the same. There is no one there. Why? Why is there no one there? That is our fucking issue, man. And then you think, okay, if it's a traditional four at the back, no inverted fullbacks, Walker Peters would probably be here. He'd probably be there, right? Walker Peters would be running over there. But I feel like because it's inverted fullback, he wants to be more central or whatever. Maybe he doesn't think he could be an option in that role. But it's like, I understand Aribo should never turn. And he does lose position. They nearly score from a hit the crossbar, and then Howard Bellis blocks it, which would have been a certain goal. But it's like, you're not exactly giving him many options. And that's why you go, okay, maybe Bazunu could be at fault here. Because why have you right to a player where there's no options? But I guess in that regard, I would defend Bazunu, because why would Bazunu roll it to someone in acres of space? Like Aribo was in acres of space. But the issue is that the movement off the ball didn't exist from anyone. Where is the triangle here? Where is the triangle? Oh, probably do it in a different color. It's a fucking mess. Oh, scribbles, mate, scribbles. Where's the triangle here? Why is there not a person here, person here? Two options instantly. Aribo could have played it around the corner before he got into the situation. And then, even if he did turn like this, maybe he still could have passed it to this option. And then you've got to think, that's six Ipswich players. If there was a pass available here, or was a pass available in this area, we break their press. We break it. That's 6 Ipswich players out of the game. And then if you think about it, well, let's count the players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 5v5 if we break this press. No, 4v4. The keeper doesn't count. 4v4 if we break this press. Crazy. Absolutely crazy that we can't think fucking enough to have these options available. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Moving on. Okay, so this was basically our best chance of the game, and it came like 5 minutes after the start of the second half, or a couple minutes. So this is the benefit here. Okay, so this is the benefit of the inverted fullback. Okay, Walker Peters drives, and gets into the space where really fullback should never fucking be, right? This is like a 10 role. This is like where you'd expect Alcaraz or maybe Stuart Armstrong to pick up the ball, right? So this is the benefit of inverted fullbacks. But then the problem is that when we get into these positions or have the inverted fullback inverted, if Walker Peters was to lose the ball here, just put it into perspective, Edozie is not there. Edozie's not there. I can guarantee you, I mean, Adam Armstrong's a midfielder. He's up front. Other wingers out of the game. I can tell you right now, if Walker Peters loses that ball, our transition is fucked. I can tell you right now, their gaps would be gaping. And luckily for us, obviously, Walker Peters makes a nice pass. And then Che Adams obviously makes that run into there, which is a really good run. Really smart run, because this guy, I mean, he's standing way too straight for that position. I mean, the ball's not close enough to him to be that sort of straight. He's got to be thinking, oh, there could be a runner in behind, but he's not thinking that at all. Che Adams gets in behind, and obviously I'll bring up the next image. So, obviously this is a good save. You would say, yeah, Adams should score, fine, but it is a good save from the keeper, to be fair. And this is our only real chance we created that was substantial. And that's probably not good, having one real, proper, clear-cut opportunity in an entire game. It's not the best. Adams obviously doesn't take his chance, saved. And then from there, obviously when Shea Charles got moved up to midfield, it was a bit better, a bit more balance in the midfield. But again, it's just individual errors as well as lack of common sense. Like as a winger, if the fullback's not at fullback, I should drop in a bit and become an option. Midfielders should always be thinking, how can I be an option? But there's just none of that, which is weird considering that's fucking basics. Like if you put me in midfield in a Sunday league team, right? Like if I'm in midfield, I'm thinking, how can I receive the ball? That's the only thought really. But in our team, it's just not even a concept that they've imagined. And obviously there's a lot of things. Is it Russell Martin's instructions? Is it the players just being fucking stupid? Who knows, right? I'm not coaching them. I'm not managing them. I don't know what they are like on the training ground, what the instructions are off the pitch. But from a very basic analytical perspective, the midfield can't track, can't mark, not positioned correctly in position and out of position. The amount of times you get caught on the transition to defensive is ridiculous. I would say overall scope of the game, defensively we were better, but that's pretty hard to be worse when you conceded 9 in 2 games. So the defense was better. I think, again, mistakes cost us a goal. Obviously, the mistake from Aribo nearly cost us a goal. Mistake from Shea Charles cost us the goal. That obviously lost us the game. So I'd say defensively we were better. Midfield, shocking. The midfield dynamic is a fucking disgrace, by the way. That is horrible. Horrible. No defensive mid, striker at centre mid, and then you have Aribo. I don't know what Aribo's role is. I don't know what his best position is. Maybe like a sort of 10, like, I don't know, like a attacking 8. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Just a midfielder that attacks. I don't fucking have a clue, but you can't have 2 of them. Well, obviously Adam Armstrong's a natural striker. He's going to get forward. But yeah, so that's basically most of what I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to be doing any preview for the next game. There'll be a different video, which should be out actually like sometime soon. But yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to cover. We weren't good enough again, 3 losses in a row, and let's have a quick heart to heart here. Okay, let's have a quick heart to heart. Southampton fans, can we stop like crying? Like generally, can we stop whining every 2 seconds? 3 weeks ago, oh, we're gonna walk this league, and now it's sack the manager. I don't Rome wasn't built in a day, okay? Let's be honest. Let me put in perspective. Okay, let me put in perspective. We're not a Prem team. Do you know why? We got relegated with 24 points. And that was with Ward-Prowse, Lavia, and all these other players that would destroy the championship, in my opinion, right? There's a reason why they left the bigger clubs. And then, obviously, transfers-wise, did we sign enough players? Did we cover enough positions? Probably not, but it is a bit of a mess when you have half the team sort of fuck knows where they're going to end up, whether they're staying or going. It's a bit of a mess. And also, you've got to realise, I mean, what was our style of play at the end of last season? It was fucking dross. I don't even think we had a style of play. We had no identity, no purpose in our passing. And this season, it's like the opposite spectrum. It's like we keep possession, we pass it like fucking maniacs. We have to have so much courage and bravery to make those passes. And obviously we're pressing and all these sort of things. It's a complete shift in identity and positioning and fucking system and fucking all these other things. That is not going to fucking work within 6 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever. Those sort of systems take time. Now, obviously, conceding fucking, what is it now? 17 goals? Was it 17 goals now? Obviously, it's not great, right? It's not great. It's not good at all. But if you look at the actual individual goals, how many of them are just pure mistakes? Not tactical errors, not system errors. Pure player is fucking dumb. I mean, the prime example for me, just thinking off the top of my head, is Manning giving Norwich a goal. Like, he just passes them. What do you mean? You know? What do you mean? That's just a basic common mistake. And if you look back on the Leicester games and the Sunderland games, so many people asleep or out of position, not understanding where they should be. There's a lot of those things that are obviously player related, because I'm going to be fucking honest with you. If you're like a Dozy was against Sunderland in the first minute, going, oh yeah, there's probably not a guy behind me at the back post as the ball's coming in, and just leave it, that's not managerial issue. That's players' fucking stupid issue. So what I would say, relax. I'm more than happy for Martin to be sacked if we're fucking sitting 12th in December. Like, fine. But I want to actually give him a chance here. Like, I do want to give him a chance. Because in reality, a manager has to do so much to churn around a team. How bad were we last year? How bad have we been for the last 5 years? We've been shocking at times, like 9-0. twice, right? We haven't been fucking good, have we? And to think that it's going to change so quickly, you got to be joking. We're having a rough patch now. Obviously, give Russell Martin time and fucking back them. Honestly, back them. No booing at halftime. Yes, we're not playing well. Yes, fucking maybe, you know, it's not our best performance. We're playing shroud or whatever it is. It's a new season. It's a new season, new managers. Half the players are fucking different. Like, give them a chance. Support them, for fuck's sake. Like, how are you supposed to expect a team to gain confidence, to gain bravery and courage, when their fucking fans are booing them every 2 seconds? Fucking hell. We're not having a good patch, okay? And you know what would happen if you actually encourage them? Maybe it would get better. Maybe the players would have some confidence. Right? Like, come on. Are we seriously booing within 7 games? There's still fucking 38 maths. No, fuck, that's so wrong. It's 39. Yeah, 39 games. Fuck. I need to go back to school. 39 games left. So much time to build a team. And then if it fucking doesn't work, it's December, or fucking 12, or whatever the fuck's going on, fine. Sack him. I'm not a Russell Martin fanboy. I don't suck his knob. Like, I don't give a shit, right? But I respect them enough to try and go, okay, give him time to actually instill his philosophy and his identity. And if he's 100% had it instilled and it's shit, we're losing games, conceding goals left, right, and centre, then we can let him go. There's no point letting him go after 7 weeks, bring in another guy who maybe has a completely different understanding of the game, maybe wants to play counter-attacking or whatever the fuck it is, and then expect him to undo everything Martin's done and then push it in a completely opposite direction. It's not going to fucking help. It's not going to help. And I'm talking too much. My fucking throat's dying. So that's going to be the video. Let me know if you guys liked this sort of stuff. Me just fucking scribbling on a bloody paint image. But like, subscribe if you enjoyed. And there'll be a preview for the Middlesbrough game out today. It should be like a couple hours or something. I don't know when I'm going to upload it, but it'll be out today sometime. So yeah, check that out if you want. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one.